Hello everyone, so in this tutorial we will take a look at GitHub Copilot. What GitHub Copilot does is it is an AI pair programmer. It uses OpenAI's GPT-4 to help you to make your programming much more efficient. In this tutorial, here are a few things that we will take a look at. So how do we set up GitHub Copilot? What requirements do we need? And let's take a look at some examples. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So for GitHub Copilot, what we can do here is if we take a look at the plans, we have the Copilot for individuals at $10 per month or $100 per year. And here are all the features that we can do. And for the Copilot for business, it'll be $19 per user per month. There is a free trial for this. So we will go ahead and click this. And now we would need to sign into our GitHub account. If we don't already have an account, we can go ahead and create one. Then after signing in, we have a 30-day trial. And it says here we have GitHub Copilot that uses the Codex AI model to offer coding suggestions. So we can have different languages like Python, JavaScript, TypeScript, Go, and Ruby. So we can't plug in into any of this IDEs. So we have, VS Code, Visual Studio, JetBrains. So let's go ahead and get access to GitHub Copilot. Alright, so now after we have GitHub Copilot set up, we would need to install the Copilot extensions. So it can be for any of these IDEs right here. But before we do that, if we don't already have an IDE, I will go ahead and quickly show you this. We will focus on using Python for now. So I'll be using PyCharm for JetBrains. You can also do this in different IDEs if you would like. So let's go ahead and install PyCharm first. But in this tutorial, we can go ahead and just go for the pure Python development. So let's install this. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up PyCharm community. And we will go ahead and install. After we have installed PyCharm, let's go ahead and run the software. And now we have PyCharm set up. Once we have PyCharm set up, we can go ahead and install our GitHub Copilot extension. So PyCharm is part of JetBrains, so let's click this. And then it will show you the documentations on how to set up GitHub Copilot with JetBrains IDE, but I will go ahead and show you how. First, let's go ahead and open up a new project. And we'll hit create. And now PyCharm will give you a sample Python script. If I just quickly press play here, run main. Okay, so here's just a quick trick. We would need to add a Python interpreter here, so let's go ahead and do so. We'll go to settings, and under the project, we'll add an interpreter. So you need to make sure that you have Python installed. So let's go ahead and use this. Then we'll click apply, hit OK. Now let's go ahead and try that again. I'll click the play button. And here you go. So really quickly, we have our function right here, and we have our if main, and now here is our output. So we have this one working. So now we can go ahead and set up GitHub Copilot. So let's go to the settings. So let's go to this gear right here, or we can go through this way, file, and then settings as well. Should be the same. And then we would need to go into this plugins tab, and then let's go ahead and search for GitHub Copilot. And let's install our plugin. Accept. After installation, let's go ahead and restart the IDE. Now you can see down here it's telling us that we can sign in to GitHub Copilot. If we don't have the pop-up, let's head on over into Tools and then GitHub Copilot, and let's log in to our GitHub account. So now let's copy our device code and then log in. And then let's go ahead and paste this and we'll authorize. So now we have GitHub Copilot authorized to be used in our Python environment. I'm going to go and click OK. And we have a notification here that we have logged in for GitHub and we're ready to use GitHub Copilot. Now that we have GitHub Copilot working, let's go through what GitHub Copilot can do. I'm going to go ahead and create a new Python. Let's call this test. We are, so we have a test.py. So we'll go ahead and, create something. So let's start off with the comment. Usually, this would allow us to give an idea of what the file or what the Python file is about. So let's say a program that, and as you can see, even just from the comments itself, you can see that we have GitHub Copilot already generating a suggestion. So this gives you a quick tutorial on what to do on all of this. This is how GitHub Copilot displays suggestions. So we can press Tab to insert the suggestion, and we can press Alt and closing brackets or Alt and opening brackets to cycle through the alternatives. So let me show you that. Okay. At the moment, you can see that this part is what I've written, and this is what GitHub Copilot is suggesting. Let's go ahead and cycle through this. As you can see, this is what GitHub Copilot is assuming that I'd like to create. So let's say I want to say or print the words hello world to the screen. I'm gonna hit on tab. Yes, that's what I want to do. Now watch this. If I press enter, it already suggests what it should be. So it's already starting to code for me. The AI assistant already knows what the program is about, and we can go ahead and hit tab, and then we can run, and then we can run our program, and there you go. So I managed to very quickly create this code. So now let's go ahead and remove this. What about a program that helps me return? So as you can see, as I'm typing, it's already suggesting quite a lot of things. A program that has returned the hypotenuse of a triangle. So as you can see, it already knows that I will be using the math library. So it's already suggesting for me to import that, which is good. And again, it's already thinking that if it's a hypotenuse, then we would need to know the two other sides of the triangle. So it's already thinking of a function for me. And again, after hitting tab, we have a comment here. So it returns the hypotenuse of a triangle, and then it gives me the code already of what I need. As you can see, it's all right here. Again, if I hit tab, main, what is it trying to do? Okay. And then it knows that it's all of this. And it knows that, I will be using this function. And there you go. That's already the code done for me. I didn't even need to think of much. All I did was create the comment at the very start of what the Python code will do or what the program will do. and GitHub Copilot has managed to do everything. Now if I go ahead and run this, you can see we have the answer 5. So if we just quickly go back, we have a hypotenuse function, and within the main function we are printing this out. Technically we don't need this main function right here. We can go ahead and use this directly. So we can go ahead and hit run, and it still does the same thing. What if we generate a loop? And okay, so it's already figured out that I would want to try things out while using a different range. So a range from 1 to 10. What would it look like? What would the hypotenuse look like? Again, it's highly intelligent. It knows or has a rough idea of what I'm trying to go for. And again, we're already able to create and test our function out. So it's really simple. Let's go ahead and create something a little bit more complex. So say for example, build a tic-tac-toe game. Okay, let's go ahead and define a function tic-tac-toe. So what will GitHub Copilot do for us? So we have a comment already. It'll print out welcome to tic-tac-toe. Here is our board. We displayed that board, player inputs. Let's go ahead and open all of this up. So we have a couple of functions here that we'd want to generate. So we have this display board. So what is the display board? GitHub Copilot will assess all of your functions that you have. So this is the main function, and it knows that we're using this display board function right here. So it knows that this is what we'll be making. Then we would need to have a player input. So it'll be this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let GitHub do everything here. Place marker, okay, sure. Win. So the status of the game. Okay, so this import random should be at the very top, but okay, we'll just continue with this. Keep going. What else is missing? We have the space check, the full board check. What's it looking for? Okay, sure. And then the player's choice. Okay, replay. And I think that's all of the functions in here. Yeah, that's it. Now we will try the main. And then here is the game. So it's managed to generate all of this, all from a single prompt, building a tic-tac-toe game. So if we press play, so you can see here is our game. So welcome to tic-tac-toe. Player 1, choose X or O. Let's go choose X. And there you go. So as you can see, we have managed to build a game for tic-tac-toe. Our function is running, everything is running really quickly. We've managed to generate all of this very quickly. I haven't fully checked if this is correct or not, but I would assume that GitHub Copilot is correct with all of this. So this is the power of GitHub Copilot. What we have learned is we have managed to install GitHub Copilot and put it into our IDE. Remember, we can use different IDEs as well, like Visual Studio, Visual Studio Code, and IntelliJ as well. And here is our GitHub Copilot. Thank you very much for following in this tutorial. I hope you have found it useful. Don't forget to hit a like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.